Welcome back. Welcome back. You man Dominic K in here, the all new radioonfire.com. Thank you for joining me. A lot of things to get into today, a lot of things to talk about. So, storms spawned some twisters in Mississippi, killing 2 in Georgia. Much of the South is at risk for more severe weather today after tornadoes struck parts of the region Sunday night and Monday, causing some heavy damage. Mississippi feeling the brunt of that. Even flipped a truck over in Texas. It's crazy. This is the time of year where we get that that kind of weather. So I've been MIA for the last little bit of time. Been working on a TV show, working on a bunch of things behind the scenes. But the most of that's behind us. Also, I'm finishing up a book. A lot of things, and so I've been keeping this from y'all. But a lot of interesting things happening. Parts of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, as well as the corners of Arkansas and Georgia are at an enhanced risk for the worst weather. So in that zone, more than 11 million people live there, in that little zone. That whole parts of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, part of Arkansas, and part of Georgia. So also, we're talking about cities like Nashville, Birmingham, Baton Rouge, Jackson, Mississippi. They're going to see all types of threats. So I want y'all to be safe out there. Hail, wind, tornadoes. Like I said, it's that time of year. So that part should not be a total surprise. And if you are in Maryland, the pollen has been crazy in Maryland. And what's been crazy since when I first moved to Atlanta, the spring weather, that pollen, all that, it was at an extreme. So I've lived in between Baltimore and Atlanta my whole life. So some people say, why are you in Atlanta? Why are you going to Atlanta now? I've been living in Baltimore, Atlanta my whole life. Okay. A lot of people didn't know that. So when I was in elementary school, we lived in Atlanta. I did not return to Atlanta until I was an adult, but I've been back and forth. Anyway, but this time of year, pollen, that kind of stuff, I used to really have a tough time. But in my older years, it has not been hitting me as well. But my car covered with pollen. So I'm welcoming the rain, but of course I don't want the tornadoes and twisters and all that crazy stuff. But for folks in many parts of the country, that is the case. So we definitely need to, be on the lookout for that. So if you've been hearing, to me, one thing that the pandemic has revealed is where you stand with your relationship. You got many folks who have been married for years and years and years. And then we go through a pandemic, they can't take it no more. Got to get divorced. Or your girlfriend or boyfriend for a long time, and then you were forced to stay home with that person, and now you realize you can't stand them. A lot of people going through that. And it does not matter how much money you have, because Bill Gates is the fourth richest person in the world. And him and his wife Melinda announced yesterday they can't take it no more. They're getting a divorce. 27 years. Bill Gates, one of the boogeymen, conservatives consider Bill Gates to be the boogeyman. But Bill and Melinda Gates have, of course, the Gates Foundation, which is one of the largest charitable foundations in the world. So they're going to continue to work on that. They're going to continue to work on that together. But they realize that they cannot grow anymore as a couple. They sent out some identical tweets saying that they made the decision to end their marriage after 27 years. We have raised 3 incredible children and built a foundation that works all over the world to enable all people to lead healthy, productive lives, they said in a statement. We ask for space and privacy for our family as we begin to navigate this new life. So Bill Gates was formerly the world's richest person, and his fortune is estimated at well over $100 billion. How the couple end up selling their estate, money, people are going to watch it, especially after another high-profile Seattle area billionaire couple recently ended their marriage. You remember Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos and Mackenzie Bezos finalized their divorce 2 years ago, 2019. Mackenzie Scott has since remarried and now focuses on her own philanthropy after receiving a 4% stake in Amazon, which is worth about $37 billion. So that was a good come up for her, but she was there from the beginning, so I don't fault her at all. It's those relationships where you look at Mary J. Blige relationship, and of course we're not talking about the same amount of money. But when what's his name? Kendu, Mary J's husband, right? Y'all ladies fell for the light-skinned guy with the light eyes. Anyway, she was already Mary J. Blige when Kendu married her. And then when the divorce came, he treated her greasy and he was doing all kind of stuff with her. Resources. She ended up with next to nothing. He was managing her career at one point. But my thing is that when people get in these relationships and the folks are already who they are, they're already well on their way. Dr. Dre, right? He was well on his way, career already, going on, and then all of a sudden, somebody comes on and they want the access to the money. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But that's what happens. That's what happens. And so the Gates got married in Hawaii back in 94. They met after she began working at Microsoft as a product manager in 87. So who says that you can't date somebody that works there? So anyway, they met and ended up getting married. She was a former employee. Be clear about that. Former employee. Now she is gallivanting around. No, but let me stop. But last year, Bill Gates said that he was stepping down from Microsoft's board to focus on philanthropy. And he was the CEO of Microsoft until 2000. And since then, he's gradually scaled back his involvement in that company that he started with Paul Allen in 75. Transitioned out of the day-to-day role at Microsoft in 2008. Served as chairman of the board until 2014. So he's going through a divorce. Clearly, obviously, they've both found other people. I mean, otherwise, why would they be getting a divorce? They found other people. And that's fine. I mean, 27 years. Sometimes you just grow apart. Sometimes you just grow apart. It's happened to the best of us. The growing apart. Just tuning in, Dime K in the morning on the all-new radioonfire.com. Of course, I am here 8 a.m. and we rebroadcast the show throughout the day for a variety of reasons. But here on the program, we deliver the biggest political and trending news stories of the day with interviews and original reporting from across the country, emanating from our studios in Baltimore and Atlanta. Show is fun, show is upbeat, but I want to expose what is really happening in this country. Radio on Fire is Black voices giving you the American story. And Black media is more important now than it's ever been. So no one can tell our stories the way that we can. So new episodes drop weekdays, 8 a.m., but I don't want you to miss any of our live broadcasts. In addition to our 8 a.m. program, we drop content throughout the day as news happens. Hit that notification bell so you get an alert whenever we go live. And, it is springtime. I'm feeling good about this upcoming summer. And hopefully we are actually in a downturn for this virus, because things are opening up. Things are opening up like crazy. We'll talk about that on the other side. Dime K in the morning on the all-new radioonfire.com. Make sure you log on. Latest news, all of our shows. Join our VIP club. A lot of things. radioonfire.com. So Dime K in the morning is also available in the WRF Radio app. Simply download WRF Radio in your app store. Leave me a comment. You can scroll your timeline, attend a Zoom meeting on mute, do some online shopping, send an email, all while listening to Dime K in the morning. So WRF Radio has DJ Cornbread doing their midday mix. The beautiful Morgan Brittany hosting their top 10 at 10 countdown, and a lot of other things on the app. Download it. You get it wherever you get your apps. WRF Radio. Shout out to all the folks over there. So I was talking about, summertime, and with this weather really breaking the way that it is, folks are outside more, even more. I mean, they were cooped up for almost a year. Now they're coming outside, and it's all good. Of course, with this weather, of course, with people being, different income brackets, all kind of reasons why. But violence, it is what it is. All right. Violence is what it's always been. It's been a negative stain everywhere. A negative stain. So, 2 pedestrians, Baltimore County, killed. 2 pedestrians killed. An off-duty officer was arrested on drunk driving charges. Now, when this stuff happens, the police union, quiet. They ain't got nothing to say. But we got to talk about it. So an off-duty police officer has been arrested on these charges. They say that his motorcycle struck 2 pedestrians who died in Maryland. Baltimore County Police say that the pedestrians were struck in Dundalk overnight after 2 a.m. First pedestrian, 34 years old, Joshua Day, was struck by a Subaru Legacy as he tried to cross North Point Boulevard. Second pedestrian, 21 years old, Berlin Matthews of Middle River, got out of her car to help Day. And it was then that police say that the off-duty officer, William Brown, struck both Day and Matthews with his Kawasaki motorcycle. Both pedestrians pronounced dead at the scene. And the off-duty officer, William Calazo Brown, 24, has been a member of the Baltimore County Police Department since 2019. He has been suspended while they investigate. I mean, are they going to try to say that he was in fear for his life? He's trained to kill. So I mean, look, they make excuses for these officers. So I want to see how they going to spend this one. You know what I mean? How they going to spend this one? 2 pedestrians killed, and the lady, she was just trying to help and check on the. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, I mean, when we're talking about the news, radioandfire.com is where you need to go to stay up on a lot of things. Another sad note, 1 dead, 3 injured in a quadruple shooting at Carroll Park. Carroll Park is in southwest Baltimore. So over the weekend, 1 man killed, 3 others injured in this shooting. City police said that an officer or officers were called around 8 p.m. for multiple shot spotter alerts. So that's when people hear gunshots and they, report it. So this is in for folks that are from Baltimore. They know the 1500 block of Washington Boulevard, Carroll Park. It's a popular area, especially with the weather breaking. Police said that officers found a 20-year-old, 2 21-year-old men suffering from gunshot wounds. Men were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. 22-year-old man was also found inside Carroll Park with gunshot wounds, and he died at shock trauma. So they are asking anyone with information to call the police, 410-396-2100, or Metro Crime Stoppers, 866-7-LOCK-UP. So, I mean, I just, you hate to hear stuff like this, especially at a park like that, somewhere where folks are going to be. Folks are going to be at these parks. And I heard the police commissioner talking a little bit about it. So he went to connect it to dirt bikes and some disagreement that happened between, we don't even know, because they don't even have any arrest at this point. Speaking of arrest, the state police union head says that their profession is dying. No, sir, your profession is not dying. It is the it is the people that you're policing. But Sergeant Clyde Boatwright, who's the president and CEO of the Fraternal Order of Police, Maryland State Lodge, who I've had a chance to interview on several occasions. Sergeant Boatwright, who was a great guy, he told WBAL that the issue is an inability to bring in new officers. And I'm not going to let him play the victim card. The reason why that the problem exists, that they are having this inability to bring in new officers, is because of the reputation, the public reputation of police officers right now. It's not that good. Recruitment is down across the country. Why? And he says that because we as police departments are all picking from the same pot of qualified candidates. What? First of all, I don't know how qualified this pot is. And we don't have young people that are interested in joining the ranks of being a police officer because we made this such an unattractive profession to be involved in. Now that I agree with, and I'm glad that he is being, just reflective enough and able to admit that currently being a police officer is an unattractive profession. And this is coming from the president and CEO of the Fraternal Order of Police, Maryland State Lodge. So Boatwright said that he thinks that one answer to this recruitment crisis could be to further incentivize potential officers. Wait, what do you mean by that, Mr. Boatwright? City government, they want to give all this money to all these nonprofit groups and shift the money and defund the police and take away from the budget and shift the money over there. Look, I think our teachers need to be paid more. I think our firefighters need to be paid more. And I think our police officers need to be paid more. However, we need to incentivize this police profession. We have to do it now. Our public safety is in jeopardy here, he says. I'm going to speak to Mr. Boatwright about this. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions for him. So Mr. Boatwright says that officers need to be paid more in this climate. He said that teachers need to be paid more, and he said that firefighters need to be paid more money. So, I mean, I know that officers put their lives in jeopardy. I know this. I mean, teachers are putting their lives in jeopardy. Firefighters are putting their lives in jeopardy. I mean, you can make a case for just about every profession that people are putting their lives in jeopardy to different and varying degrees. Do officers need an added incentive? Is that going to get more qualified candidates? You might get people that are money hungry. But what needs to happen to improve the attractiveness of the police profession is not more money. It's a better screening process for these officers who are going to perform better and thus make the profession more attractive. I think that throwing money at it, while it will get some people interested, it's not going to improve the quality of the officers that are on the streets. It's just going to get officers who are trying to get paid more money. And when you look at it across the board, so he wants raises for across the board. Yeah. So that is interesting. It's interesting that he takes that perspective. And like I said, I've interviewed Mr. Boatwright on a few occasions, and I've had a chance to chop it up with him. And I am anxious to sit down and talk with him about this. He says that police officers need a raise. They need more money to recruit better talent. You want to support Don McKay in the morning? Really easy to do that. I'm able to deliver our news and our views on the program because of our listeners, sponsors, and of course, your donations. Don McKay in the morning is powered by the people, and we need your support. So visit radioonfire.com to make a one-time donation or join the Radio on Fire VIP Club, radioonfire.com/join. On social media, I'm at the Don McKay Show, at Radio on Fire. And I am, it never ceases to amaze me some of the things that we see out here. So I mean, I talk to conservatives all the time, and I'm going to talk about Tim Scott. I didn't get a chance to talk about that. Who says, and unfortunately, Vice President Harris said that racism doesn't exist, or America's not a racist country, or whatever. So before we even get to that, an Oregon senator has been charged for allegedly unlocking the Capitol door for protesters. This genius is on surveillance video at the Oregon Capitol. Representative Mike Neerman opening the door for right-wing demonstrators on December 21st. Neerman is under investigation. So this idiot, an Oregon state senator named Mike Neerman, seen on camera opening doors for protesters, who of course had intentions of entering the closed state capitol while lawmakers went over COVID-19 restrictions. You see this foolishness? Many wondered if the Republican senator purposely unlocked the door so protesters could enter, and now it has been reported that Neerman was charged for the incident. That's very good. Neerman was hit with first-degree misdemeanor charge for official misconduct and a second-degree charge for criminal trespass. Reports noted that Neerman is set to make an appearance on the 11th in Marion County Court to face the charges. This guy is, for all intents and purposes, an idiot, right? He's an idiot. Okay. He's an idiot for the same reason a lot of these conservatives out here talking about they won all these seats in the 2020 election, but the election was stolen. The election was stolen from Donald Trump, yet the Republicans won all the seats. So while you have this Neerman under investigation after this formal complaint was filed against him by the Democratic House members, who say him opening the doors to the Capitol endangered lawmaker, law enforcement officers, and House workers, which it did. But conservatives that are talking about the election was stolen, right? So you have these conservatives say that this was a mandate. The 2020 election was a mandate. We won all these seats, and Democrats thought they won all these seats. They won all these seats, right? But then on the other hand, you're going to say that the election was stolen, right? This is the kind of foolishness that conservatives, Republicans are pushing. So on the one hand, they say that on the same ballot where voters voted for Republicans down ballot in Congress, that was fine. But on the ballot, the same ballot where the voters did not vote for Trump, then it was being stolen. So they're basically saying, and they're continuing to say that down the whole ballot, if you didn't vote Republican, it was something was wrong with the ballot. Now, where they voted Republican on the ballot, that part was cool. It's the Trump part on the top of the ballot that's fuzzy. That doesn't even make sense. Now, if you lose an election and then you want to cry foul when you lose, we do not have a democracy. That's not the way this republic is supposed to work. That's not the way voting is supposed to work. It's like you're playing a video game, and if you don't win the game every time, then the game's cheating. But all the times when you were winning, the game was working fine. But when you lose, the game's not working right now. Now the game's broke. This is the type of childish behavior that Republicans are participating in. This is that type of foolishness. And then you have adults. You have adults that are participating in this, pushing, perpetuating the big lie. Trump now still is pushing this lie. Over the weekend, he was talking on his balcony, his patio, some supporters. You know, he constantly needs his ego stroked, and he's taking these Republicans' money, these conservatives' money, these sheeple taking their money. And they seemingly don't have a problem with it. These are even folks that don't have the money to give. They don't even have the money to give, and Trump's taking their money. They're donating to him. So I can't really say that they're taking it, because donate. They're giving it to him. So anyway, the big lie being pushed continuously by this is the former president. And it's so confusing to me because Republicans' devotion to Trump, it It threatens to destroy this experiment of America, this very flawed experiment, but it threatens to destroy American democracy. Now, you may say, boy, ooh, what do you mean? Like, that's too big of a statement to say. All right, but the majority of the Republican Party is choosing to this wannabe autocrat over the political system that has made the United States the world's most powerful nation. The political system, this democracy that we have, if you don't trust the results of the election, if the people can't say that they're going to go in, pull the lever, whoever gets, or write on the paper, whoever wins is the winner. If we can't trust that basic thing, what are we doing? What are we doing here? How's this going to work? The ex-president is showing that he doesn't have to be in the Oval Office to damage faith in U.S. elections and trash the truth. He wants you to trust the election only if he wins. What sense does that make? This Trump movement, as always, is based on lies and personal homage. He wants these people to pay homage to him personally, even over the Republican Party, whose views I don't agree with. But that's neither here nor there. So this widespread mistrust continues. He continues to push this. He continues to claim that the U.S. political system is not fair to him. Now, in 2016, it was fair, right? Now it's not. These are not the actions of a patriot. But of course, I mean, he dodged military service. So when he's been given the opportunities to demonstrate patriotism, he has done the exact opposite. Trump is using his bond with the grassroots conservatives. And he has effectively pushed these false claims about a fraudulent election. So most of the times when a president loses, goes off into the sunset, opens a library, starts philanthropy, writes a book, moves on with their life. Not this guy. Not this guy. He has, as I said, continued to push these false claims, aka lies, of a fraudulent election. Now, I got to keep reminding people. Now, in this same election, on the same ballot, many Republicans were reelected and were brought into office. That part of the ballot was fine. It's the part where Trump lost that Trump has a problem with. Crazy. Under his influence, one of America's two great political parties has effectively shed its belief in democracy. So when we talk about the future of this country, the Republican Party is one of the main parties, and this party is, in my opinion, going to split in two pieces. Trump is pushed by personal revenge. So accept the results, and then if you want to run again, then try to run again. But don't claim that it's not valid. Just say we're going to do better next time, the same way that Democrats did when you got in office. Even though they had doubts about how you got there, they accepted it and said we're going to come back and mobilize in the 2020 election when you got in office in 2016. Just tuning in, Diamond K in the morning on the all-new radioandfire.com. I am here weekdays giving you my take on news, politics, culture. Diamond K in the morning. So Trump is also trying to destroy the political viability of any Republican office holder who fails or refuses to back his lie. He's doing that. So any GOP office holders who tell the truth about the Capitol insurrection that Trump inspired, like Representative Liz Cheney of Wyoming and Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, he's trying to take those people out, trying to discredit them. He organized an insurrection at the Capitol, and he's trying to discredit people who tell the truth about it. So some folks booed Mitt Romney over the weekend. Mitt Romney, the former Republican presidential nominee who ran against President Obama for his second term, coming into a second term. So over the weekend, Republicans booed him at some Republican event in Utah. And I suppose this is because he voted to convict Trump over his abuses of power in two separate impeachment trials. So I guess they were booing about that. They tried to censure him. That didn't happen. So, I mean, this means nothing. These people are allowed, but Trump still lost the election, folks. Trump still lost the election. All right, so y'all can boo. You can do whatever. But in the words of President Obama, don't boo, vote. Should have voted. Should have organized more people. And so, anyway, Cheney may well be sacrificing her own political career. I don't think that she is, because while these Trump supporters are loud, they have been outnumbered. I don't think that Cheney needs to worry. She needs to keep doing what she's doing. This Republican Party is going to split in two eventually. It's going to be the people that believe the Trump lies, the far right people, and the true conservatives. That's what's going to happen. I don't want people to, you're going to have a lot of mainstream media folks talk about, oh, Trump's power is growing. His power isn't growing, okay? He's not even on social media. He's speaking in front of small crowds in his backyard. His power is not growing, okay? The only thing he can do to stay relevant is keep complaining and whining and crying. That's all he can do. I don't think his power is growing. This is part of the reason why he got elected, because the mainstream media, white media, gave him so much free promotion for his campaign. This is back when he came down the escalators. He paid. Those were actors and actresses that they paid. But with all of the free press that he was given, slowly it started to become actual people. The fake it till you make it thing. He did that. And mainstream media, white media, helped him do that. And then they got confused after it happened. Y'all did it. Y'all made it happen. So any idea at this point, and then the Republicans propped him up. So any idea that the Republicans are going to, wash their hands of Trump was exposed as a pipe dream. There is a sickness in our party that must be acknowledged and addressed, Marine veteran wrote. He ran in a special election for a House seat in Texas at the weekend on the anti-Trump platform and lost badly in a jungle primary with only 3% of the vote. So, I mean, he's running in Texas. Texas may be a strong point for Trump, right? He won that state. But the cult of personality and the vehicle for grievances of Donald Trump, people have gotten too comfortable with conspiracy theories. Too comfortable. So it is an alternate reality that Trump has painted for his followers. We have got to get back to the real world. We've got to get back to what is really happening. That's why we have to get back there. Right? Just tuning in, Dom McKay in the morning on the all-new radioonfire.com. I want to talk about the tax sales in Baltimore. Always a source of concern for many residents of this city. We're going to talk about that on the other side. Welcome back. Your man Dom McKay in here. Dom McKay in the morning on the all-new radioonfire.com. Make sure you log on. The latest news, information, politics, culture, music, radioonfire.com. Also become a VIP member. Join us, radioonfire.com/join. Exclusives for our members, and our members are so important. Allows us to continue to push the independent journalism that we do here. The voices, the messages, so important. radioonfire.com/join. So Baltimore's Mayor Brandon Scott is removing some homes from the city's annual tax sale that is going to happen later this month. Owner-occupied homes that face a tax sale lien for the first time won't go to the auction block, the mayor said yesterday. So this announcement means that some Baltimore homeowners who've taken a financial hit as a result of this pandemic won't have their past due property taxes and other charges sold to the highest bidder at the May 17th tax sale. It's an online auction that the city uses to collect overdue bills. And we had Mika Namdi from the Fight Blight Be More organization on the RTV show last week, and we were talking about tax sales and this predatory practice that Baltimore participates in. We talked about that, and then you turn around and Fight Blight Be More was actually name dropped in the mayor's press conference yesterday, just showing you the impact. This is happening because of public pressure. Baltimore attempting to take advantage of less fortunate homeowners. And as we said, this announcement means that some of the Baltimore homeowners who've taken that financial hit because of the COVID-19 pandemic will not have their past due property taxes and other charges sold to the highest bidder. That is good news. So during the auction, bidders pay for various property liens owed to the city in exchange for a tax sale certificate. So that certificate gives the bidder the right to obtain ownership of the property by filing a tax sale foreclosure lawsuit. This is on the city's website, this information, and that is how it works. Taxsale.baltimorecity.gov. So property owners can reimburse the successful bidder for the liens and other charges paid during the tax sale, in addition to the interest and other costs imposed by the lien holder to avert a foreclosure. But they make it very complicated, and folks that don't have the money, how are they able to even do any of this? So they prey on these properties, and the folks with financial hardships really face the brunt of this. But today's announcement, or yesterday's announcement, is being targeted, and it is a strategic approach to protect our legacy homeowners, I mean older folks, and center equity, the mayor said. Mayor Scott continued, "This is about taking the action we can take now, not simply kicking the can down the road, and working to address the underlying issues in this process to keep our most vulnerable residents housed." So I am glad that this has happened. I wish that it didn't need to be this much public pressure. But Councilwoman Odette Ramos, Democrat, she has previously described the tax sale as predatory, which it is. She told Maryland Matters that the auctions, just have this major impact on low-income and elderly homeowners in Baltimore and across the state. She said that the move is particularly timely amid this COVID-19 pandemic. We have a lot of people who really had a major COVID economic impact, and they're trying to take these people's houses from them. So we still have a long way to go in terms of reforming the tax sale process. The ultimate goal is to put tax sale purchasers out of businesses. You have people that just focus on going to these tax sales and taking these people's properties. That's what you have. Older adults, people receiving federal disability benefits, and households with a combined income of less than $40K, those people, are really vulnerable. Those people are vulnerable. So we must continue to do everything in our power to protect those vulnerable homeowners, including the seniors, low-income families, and people with disabilities. So I do want to thank the mayor for taking this important step. This step in keeping Baltimore homeowners safe during this pandemic. So the political will to reform this tax sale process in Baltimore and across the state is a priority. Should be a priority. Councilwoman Ramos pointed to House Bill 852, passed by the General Assembly this year, which would create a homeowner protection program to divert vulnerable homeowners from tax sales. House Bill 852. General Assembly has already passed this. You've already passed this. So this homeowner protection program, which was sponsored by the House Ways and Means Chairwoman Ann Kaiser, and it awaits actions by Governor Hogan. Of course, he ain't with it, but we'll see what happens. 2019, Senator Mary Washington, Democrat of Baltimore, sponsored a bill, now law, that stopped homes in the city from being sent to tax sale for overdue water bills. Yesterday's announcement is the result of the advocacy by housing rights groups, which included the Fight Blight Be More and Nika Namdi and her whole team and others. So shout out to them, salute to them. We are so fortunate to have some advocacy groups that are out there putting in the work. Residents with issues related to tax sales can call 410-396-3556 for individualized support. So that tax sale is still happening, but a lot of homeowners that were affected economically during this pandemic have been taken off the list. Some homeowners in the owner occupied homes spared from this tax sale. That is good news. Just tuning in, Don McKay in the morning, when you all do radioonfire.com. And Baltimore pivoting, buckling, readjusting from pressure. And whatever the reason, I am glad that it has happened. Of course, on social media, I'm at the Don McKay Show, at Radio on Fire. And, it has been an interesting last couple of days. As I said, we have a lot of things in the works. I'm finishing up a book. And more, I'll release some more details on that later on this week. Finished up an album. A lot of things. So COVID-19 vaccine supply is there, but the demand for this vaccine has gone down. Maryland's fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, the data shows that the number of daily infections and new cases are dropping. But there is another downturn that is affecting those positive trends, and that is the number of people getting vaccinated every day. So the Timonium mass vaccination site at the Maryland State Fairgrounds closed around lunchtime yesterday because not enough people made appointments. And they wonder why. That's because some people are just not trusting the vaccine. Not yet. So these vaccinations are very helpful. Some people think that it's a relief. Health officials say that the demand has not been as high as it was before. And I'm just surprised that these so-called smart people are confused why. Many people have mixed emotions about the vaccine. I think that people are feeling very comfortable, and they probably shouldn't yet. Should you go get vaccinated or not? Public health experts said that the vaccines are working. Of course, they're going to say that. They're the major engine driving Maryland's days-long downward slide in coronavirus infections and new cases and hospitalizations. So if you want to get the vaccine, now is a great time to do that, because just a few short months ago, it was crazy. They wasn't trying to give people the vaccine. They was prioritizing them based on this and based on that. And then people just said, forget it. And then, you started having some challenges with the Johnson & Johnson. And then a lot of people just talked about, I'll get to it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. All right. Giant Food Supermarket began offering COVID-19 vaccines with no appointment starting yesterday. Vaccine is being offered to all approved ages 16 and older for Pfizer, 18 and older for Moderna and Johnson & Johnson. So every Monday and Thursday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. at all of the 152 pharmacy locations of Giant throughout Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, and Delaware, you can get vaccines. Our Giant pharmacy team remains committed to making the vaccine accessible for our communities, the director of pharmacy operations at Giant said in a statement, so that we are proud to now be able to offer convenient walk-in options to residents with no appointment needed, making it easier than ever to get vaccinated. Giant Food said that walk-in vaccinations are available for individuals receiving either their first or second dose of the vaccine. Now, for those that want to set up appointments, customers can still do that at any of the Giant pharmacy locations by going to giantfood.com/COVID-info. So Giant Food, Mondays and Thursdays, 6 a.m. You can do a walk-in if you want to get the vaccines. Shout out to them. That is good. Making it easy for folks. Maryland is offering an incentive. State employees get $100 to get the COVID-19 vaccine. State employees will be offered this $100 financial incentive, the governor announced yesterday. As of yesterday, Maryland has reported more than 4.9 million vaccinations. All state employees who are fully vaccinated against COVID-19 are eligible for the program. To receive the incentive, employees must provide their HR office with proof of vaccination and agree to receive all subsequent CDC recommended booster vaccinations within 18 months of being fully vaccinated. So they're telling you now there's going to be an additional shot or three. So the incentive is also retroactive. So all state employees who have already been vaccinated are going to get that money. Maryland offering $100 to state employees for their vaccinations. So with this incentive program, we are further encouraging state employees to get vaccinated to keep themselves, their families, and their communities healthy and safe, the governor said in a statement. So incentives like this are another way to reinforce the importance of getting vaccinated, and we strongly encourage businesses across the state to consider offering incentives to their workers as well. These vaccines are safe and effective, they're free, and they're readily available with or without an appointment. That is coming from Maryland's governor. And I don't know. Individuals who refuse subsequent booster vaccinations after receiving the vaccine incentive will be required to repay the $100 vaccination incentive for failure to adhere to the agreement. So that's what they say. It's interesting. So they're going to give you the money, but if you do not go, and get those booster shots, they want that money back. So the Maryland Department of Budget and Management is working with state employee unions to make sure they implement this incentive program. Very interesting. Don McKay in the morning on the allnewradioandfire.com. I will be back here tomorrow, 8 a.m. for another episode of the show. As news breaks during the day, I will also be cutting in here. radioandfire.com, news, culture, and of course, the hottest songs in the country. Visit radioandfire.com. Also, join comedian Stiletto for an epic night of laughs as the Stiletto Show returns to Baltimore Friday, June 25th from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. at the La Familia Arts and Media 836 Guilford Avenue in downtown Baltimore. Experience this stand-up comedy extravaganza featuring Stiletto and friends. Admission is just $25. Tickets are on sale now at stiletto1.eventbrite.com. That is stiletto, the number 1.eventbrite.com. Stiletto Show returns to Baltimore Friday, June the 25th, 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. Be there. It's going to be amazing night of entertainment, and that's what people need right now, entertainment. So hop on over there. Also, you can go to radioonfire.com/stiletto to purchase your tickets for that event. Thanks, as always, at the Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. And, of course, you want to support Diamond K in the morning, you can do that. Cash.app/$DJ Diamond K. PayPal.me/Radio on Fire. I'll see you guys tomorrow.